Good morning, y'all. Woo, let me get my headphones in here. Here we go. Good morning. It is Tuesday, and I got a special guest. Oh, here she is. Let me do the invite here. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah, we're going to invite live. Hope y'all are doing well. It is another live episode of Shop Talk Quinny. I'm just moving some stuff around and we're going to get all set up. It is like a sunny day outside today. I'm loving the sun. I'm loving the weather. And I like seeing all of y'all. I'm just going to send some waves up over here. Let's see if we can't get our guest for today on the show. Right, I'm just gonna set this up here. So one of the things I love about doing these episodes is I get to tell stories. I get to share stories. Whoops. And really, really neat just to kind of hear from people. There we go. Got to set this up on my stand. Okay. See if we can't get so Melissa, if you're on here, if you're watching, I just sent you an invite to join the show. All you got to do is accept the invite and we will get you on here. See, I'd love to wear my glasses, but there's always a glare on my glasses. Okay, let's see if we can get our guest on here. Oh, it's weird. It says hey, Melissa, if you're watching, it said that you were unable to join. Oh, technical difficulties. I'm not seeing an invite. Will work from my laptop. Tell you what, Melissa, if you're listening, here's what you can do. You can actually ask to be invited. Let's try that and see if it works. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see like a video. You'll see like I think there's an option to request to join the live. Um, See if you see that. And if so, you can click it. And then I should get your request and be able to add you that way. I'm not sure if you can do the live from your laptop, so let's try it on the phone first. Just type me if you don't see that option to request to be added to the live, and we'll sort it out. By the way, anybody that's joined so far, thank you so much for joining. As some of you already know, my guest for today is Melissa. She's the owner of Sterling Photography. We're just working out some technical difficulties to try and get her on the call. I'm going to try sending you an invite again um, and see if that works. Okay, I'm going to Go live. Hey, there we
So,
go.
so apparently laptops do not work. So mine doesn't anyways.
Hey, no worries. We got you here. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well. Very well. Excited to. Hey, hello. Hello.
There's my photo bomber.
How are you? Ah, it's cute. I like the
Love
hair.
it. Oh
Love the
yes.
hair.
Super fun. She may be
Man.
around in and out.
Hey, there you go. More than welcome. More than welcome. Melissa, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Some people already know this, but for the people that don't know that are joining the live today, this isn't your first time to Shop
No,
Talk 20. You've been here before. So it's
this is,
great to have you back.
it is super good to be back. It was super fun last time, and I'm excited that we get to have another chat. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a lot has transpired since the last time we chatted. And, one of the things I really enjoyed about the conversation we had the last time was there seemed to definitely be just a kindred spirit, relatable energy around, you know, just kind of slowing down a bit and not getting caught up in the hustle and the bustle. And I could really sense that from the conversation that we had, that was something that was really important to you. And in 2022, I want to know from you, I want just kind of give people the 411, who you are and what you do for people that are joining here and may not know who you are and what you do. And then my follow-up question to that is going to be, in 2022, what is your priority, your focus as a woman in business, as a family person? What is your focus?
so many questions. Wow. I love it. So I'm Melissa. I'm owner of Sterling Photography. I do lifestyle work mostly with families. So lifestyle is a little bit more natural feeling, and it's supposed to have a candid sense to it instead of the traditional Sears portrait superposed. I like the ones that more reflect what families are. I also do a lot of work with small businesses, and it's the same style. It's meant to feel softer and, you know, connect in the images. Um, sorry. So as far as this year coming, absolutely, my priority is still the family. We're going to be doing a sort of slow-paced business world, and hanging out with these little people kind of comes first. Outside of that, though, I'm going to be exploring a lot of different options. I was actually just talking with a friend this morning, and I have some different plans on ways that I want to book sessions but still work it into the family life and being able to have the time that we like having together.
Wow, I absolutely love that. You said something key there. You were talking about, you're looking at ways that you can be intentional about building kind of your workflow and how you approach those things so that it complements what you have going on with your family. What kind of is there anything that inspired that for you? Was there any kind of event or something that happened that made you think, I need to adjust some things so that I can be a little more accommodating and complement my family life?
Um, Burnout was a huge inspiration for making me realize I can't be 100% for everyone all the time. Like, you can't.
Mm.
It's just not possible. And I was tired of giving 50% of myself to everyone. So, over the past few weeks, I've been really, saying, what is the best way for me to show up 100% for people, but really divide that and balance it and make sure that I can find a way that I can still be the mom I want to be. I can still be the Melissa that I want to be, and I can still be the photographer that I want to be. So I'm really motivated this year to find a way to just balance all that time and make sure that when it is specifically the time to be whatever hat I have to wear that day, that I'm able to give it 100%.
That's so cool. I love that, and I love that you're in that process of trying to figure that out. And I think this is going to be really valuable for the people listening. Like, is there anything that you can share as far as, the process, where you're at in the process so far? Is there anything that sticks out to you as, oh, this is a direction I could go in to kind of help accomplish that goal? Where are you at in your process right now in figuring that out?
Um, well, right now, my hardest challenge is childcare. So, to be able to go out and do sessions, so being able to align that with a time when my husband can be home, or depending what the session is, sometimes my oldest can help keep the girls busy while I do a quick session. Just, they'll play in the field behind me or something. So, I guess that sort of is just being really intentional in how I want to schedule that time. If it's only when my husband can watch them, then that means that every evening I'm away from home. So now I don't get to see my husband. And if I go and do it every weekend, then we don't have any time as a family together. So it's just going to be really committing boundaries, like for myself,
Mhm.
instead of just taking all the sessions because I want to please everybody. I think I'm going to have to be really aware of booking intentionally and not overstretching my time and taking away from all of us as well. So,
Wow, I'm really really glad you shared that, Melissa. And I know it's something that a lot of people share. When you think about balancing childcare and balancing your business. I was on a call last night, and definitely there were some mothers on the call, some entrepreneurs on the call, and very real challenge for them. I know, my wife, she's definitely had that challenge, and it took us a while to find childcare to kind of really kind of help her be able to dedicate some undivided time to her business. And just on that real quick, like, we found that, like, childcare, it's not easy to find.
no,
Like, it's very difficult. Are you finding the
yeah,
same thing?
absolutely. And admittedly, I mean, some of that is our own doing. We are super particular. The super curly haired one, she has a lower immune system. So we're exceptionally cautious with where these people go and who they're around. And um, I think maybe it's kind of our own doing that it's as hard as it is. But yeah, it was never easy. Even before the pandemic, it was so hard to find people that are going to fit your schedule, that are going to match, the values that you have, that you want your children to have. Because if someone's taking care of your kids for a long time, of course you want them to feel at home. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I totally totally get it. Yeah, and it's such a, it's not a light thing, finding somebody that's gonna, care for your kids, look out for things that are unique to your children, and kind of having that confidence. Certainly, it's a process. We've experienced it for sure.
Yep.
Um, I really appreciate you sharing that. And just, and to go a little bit deeper here, like, from your perspective, do you find, like, is there because I feel like there's like a lot of women have kind of had to stay home and kind of be the primary caregivers. Now, not a lot of people on here might not know my wife, but we had a realization. We went away to Dominican for a month, and when we came back from the trip, and people asked us, oh, how was the trip? And I said it was absolutely amazing. My wife would give a different answer. She would say that it was good, but she she wouldn't be as excited as I was because we actually had the realization on the trip that being the primary caregiver isn't something that works for her. Like she's very entrepreneurial. She has her own business, and she wants to be out there doing stuff as well. And we had that realization on the trip. It isn't something that she wants to do 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. Do you find that is like something that it has come up in your world? Are you seeing that, observing that, maybe with your friends or in your own life?
Sorry. Just gonna put out a
No
little
worries.
fun
No
here.
worries. No
Oh,
worries.
my little
We're here
friend.
for it.
Can we share? Can we give Ella one turn, please? And then Emma gets a turn too, okay? We're gonna have lots of fun. Sorry.
I love it. I love it. No, this is good.
um, for me personally, like our oldest is 14, and I was a stay-at-home mom with him. And I love it. I love being home with my people, but that was a choice. That was always something um, that was kind of my primary life goal, was to be a mama, and I like being a homemaker. But I'm a creative person, and I needed a hobby. I needed an outlet. I needed time to go and talk to other adults and be out. So I could very gladly do this 7 days a week as long as I have a reason to leave the house outside of them as well. I still need to be a person. Um, it's not for everyone. Like, it is hard some days to be home with the people. But for me, it works. Yeah.
I love that actually. I really appreciate you sharing that because my mother, for example, she homeschooled us. She homeschooled us for like the first, 8 grades of our life, and then we went off to high school after that. But she was one of those mothers that absolutely loved staying at home. She loved being a homemaker. She loved being a stay-at-home mom, and she loved homeschooling us. And my wife, very very different. She likes staying home to an extent,
Yeah.
but definitely not like full time. So I think self-awareness is huge here because you kind of get to know, what works for you and then kind of like leaning in that direction. So it's neat to hear you share that, you were doing it kind of full time at one point and but you're realizing, hey, I do kind of, I'm a creative person. I need that time outside of it as well.
I You froze up for a half second there. Um, and that's it. I think it's important, if you are going to take on a stay-at-home role, you need to fill your bucket somehow, because we cannot just be serving other people all the time. And that's where I think, like people like your wife, it sounds like she's incredibly driven and she knows what fills her soul. And so to recognize that and to do what she needs to do, that's amazing. I very much respect people that do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm also thinking like on the work side of things as well. Like you were saying, you were making some adjustments, with how you're gonna implement services and things of that nature. Like, is there any? Because I know on our side of things, like for me, I always think in 2022, I'm trying to get real intentional with my calendar, with my schedule. Like one example is like I don't book any like I guess client meetings like after 12 afternoon, like it's just like, I'm just going to work on like kind of internal stuff. Like, do you find is there kind of have you ever experienced like you want to do those things, but then you're not sure, or you're kind of thinking about how are my clients going to receive this? How are they going to, are they going to look at my business differently or me differently? Like, do those things ever go through your mind?
Absolutely, all the time. I live in fear of offending people or letting people down. I live to please, and it's both a blessing and a curse. I never want to disappoint people, but I think sometimes No, I'd say maybe the past like month or so, I've realized that if I'm pleasing everyone else, maybe I'm disappointing myself. I am,
Mm,
like I said, only giving 50% of me because I'm stretched too thin. And I think the best way to be able to please people is to make sure that I'm looked after. So, I mean, it's sort of a selfish perspective, but it's with the intent of being able to be, excuse me, be my best for whoever needs me at that very moment, whether it's a client or the kids, or I do work for my husband's business as well. Wherever I need to be, um, I'm able to give it everything.
wow,
So
that
I
that's
can. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's so true. Like, and you know, it's what you said was so real there because I think that's what we all often tend to think like, ooh, that's a selfish thing. Like, you know, maybe I shouldn't take care of myself first because that's selfish. You know, I'm a giving person. I should just give more. And then we burn out in the process. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm so for in 2022 is just the realization of what you just said. And yeah, and you know, in some cases, like you said, like burning out is the thing that kind of brings us to that point. It happened to me actually at the end of 2021. It happened to me, and you know, I'm trying to be a lot more intentional in 2022. But I really appreciate you sharing that because I think it's just something that a lot of people share as a fear. How are people gonna receive this?
I think at the end of the day, everyone, especially now, we're all going through burnout and exhaustion and trying our best and doing our best. And I think that clients will be pretty well receiving of recognizing that we also have to take care of ourselves to give our best. I don't think anyone wants us showing up for them burnt out and uncreative and uninspired and not wanting to be there. And I think if we're resentful of the work that we do, the client's going to know that too. So it's probably, in everyone's best interest.
I totally agree with that statement. Like I'm thinking right now because like we went like pretty much 100% virtual at the end of last year. I mean, we'll still show up for like you know, what if we were doing like a video shoot or photo shoot or something like that. But for the most part, we're nomad life. And you know, I remember I had a select few clients where the meeting had to be in person. It didn't matter if it was a 15-minute conversation or a 10-minute conversation. Like it had to be in person. That's just how they did business. And I remember before the pandemic, I was like, man, like this is so I don't understand why I'm doing this. Why am I driving half an hour for a 15-minute conversation when I could just get on the phone and get this
Exactly.
done? And you know, when things kind of turned and we went virtual, like it was so freeing to be like, no, like, you know, if here's what here's how I communicate. You know, these are your options. If you want to
Yeah.
book a virtual meeting, we can do that. That was so liberating. Do you have something like that you can share as far as something like a liberating experience in getting more intentional in how you want to do business?
So I've only just been cooking my ideas for the past couple of days. Like I was in the bath last night, and that's when I had that aha moment. So I haven't even like fully put the pen to paper, and I'm not sure how it'll be received. But I think for this year, my thought is instead of clients instead of them coming to me to book a session, I'm going to just have a lot of dates for them. This is what's available, and this is kind of what we're going to do. I'm going to do some couple sessions on these dates, and these are the plans, and this is how I want the shoot to go. And if it sounds like that's what you want to be a part of, hop in. Let's do it. And if it's not the right session for you, that's okay. We don't have to.
I love it. I love it. So you're pretty much pre-planning, like this is the theme, this is how it's
Yeah,
going to go, this is the
yeah.
format. If it works for you, jump right in. If it's not,
This
there's
is the
going to be
day,
another
this is
theme
the
down the
time.
road.
Yep. Yeah. I
Love
think
it.
it hit me last night that I was like, if I'm not trying to organize all this stuff at the last possible moment, then that really frees up my schedule. And now I'm going to be super excited about this session because I see it in my mind already.
Oh, this is good. See, I'm so glad you shared this because like this is the stuff that liberates business owners and the limiting belief behind not doing something like this is like, oh, nobody's gonna book because, people want the flexibility, blah blah. Like there's so many like stop you if you look for a reason not to do something like this, you will find it. Like don't even think that you're not gonna like you will find a reason, you'll make up a reason. The point is stop looking for reasons not to do it and look for, this is what I want to do. And
Yep.
let that be enough and then let the cards fall where they may.
Yep. And I mean, I think that's the one thing is I feel a little bad. Because I'm not as super business oriented as some of the other entrepreneurs in the area. Um, where my priorities lie with the family, like this is sort of just for me. It gets me out. So I think I kind of have the luxury to be a little bit, if people don't book with me, they don't book with me, and that's okay. It just means that I'm not going out Tuesday night, and that's all right. It might not be the way for anyone to run a business, but I think for some people, it does work. Maybe that is how you fit what you want to do with what you have to do. So,
Ah man, this is gold. You're dropping gems right now, Melissa. No, seriously, because I like what you just said about, I feel like we put these like I put unrealistic expectations on ourselves on like, this is what you're supposed to do, this is how it's supposed to go. But it's like, says who? Says who? Right? Like
yep.
you make your own destiny, you make your own decisions. Like I
That
did a
isn't,
pot. Yeah, go ahead.
no, 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 go ahead.
Well, I was doing an episode like the other day, like it was like, building a business around your life, not
Yes,
building a life around your business. So many people
yes.
do it that way, and it's like, no, no, no. Like, get the life and then build the business around that. Like, that's what you're doing. That's what I feel.
Well, that was the goal is that's just it. It's something that I want to do. I love doing photography, but I don't want it to burn me out. I don't want it to become a source of resentment or I don't want to dread going to do it. That's not why I started this. So I think having boundaries around that and having rules is is the way to keep loving it, keep having it be magical and special and fun. And I think that's the best way to bring creativity to the table is to just keep being passionate about it, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what I'm thinking too, Melissa? Like, I feel like some of the biggest obstacles standing in the way of people doing what you're talking about, it always like in a lot of cases, it's the financial. Like people will look at the financial and they'll be like, well, I could do this, but it means I'm gonna make less money. I'm gonna do, less deals, blah blah blah. And it's like, I get it. You have to, at minimum make a living wage, be able
Yeah,
to kind of like support yourself and things of that nature. But outside of that, like if you're miserable making way above what you need, is it worth it?
exactly. At the end of the day, when we're 80 and we're looking back at our lives, we're not going to sit and say, yeah, I had all the money, but I was miserable. It was great. That's not what I want to remember.
That part right there. That part, yeah. I think this is going to bring so much value to the people, and for anybody listening, you know what, like, I'm going to say this on air. You're experiencing like I'm going to call it transparent and vulnerable greatness right now, because what I feel you've done here today, Melissa, is I think you've freed some people from their limiting beliefs. And I think it's unique because it's not like you did this 6 months ago and it's all figured out now and now you're kind of off. Like you're in the middle of the process and
Oh,
you're
the
almost
very thing.
thinking out loud on this live. I absolutely love it. And I really just appreciate you being vulnerable enough to share that.
Oh, you're bringing out. You have that way, Josh. Talking with you is always so nice, and you have a way of making people think and be inspired and question everything that we're doing in a day. So thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Melissa, I wish you nothing but success. Keep
Thank you.
me in the loop. I want to hear about, how things are going, what else you come up with. I just feel like the testimony of what you're doing right now as it plays out in the future is just going to be so helpful just for so many people. So thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. You take care.
Bye.
Bye.